This is a retired Type 052B destroyer. 30 years of service, 300 meters long, 20,000 tons, listed at 500 million yuan. Not a single buyer. I've been working the docks for years, so I knew this ship well. The first time I laid eyes on it, rusted out, but that frame? Massive. I was floored. The main deck sits 20 meters above the waterline. Hull plating? 50 centimeters thick, built to stop missile shrapnel. Zombies? Please. Even artillery just bounces off. 7 watertight decks inside, each one independently sealed. Flood one section. The rest keeps running. This thing was born to be a fortress. Radar, sonar, main engines, all still there. Mothballed for years but fixable. I made up my mind. This is it. 500 million. Transfer it today. The guy on the other end of the line went dead silent for a full 10 seconds. Then his voice cracked. Yeah, okay. Next day, keys in hand. I stepped onto the deck. Alloy steel humming under my boots, sea wind in my ears, the city behind me still loud and oblivious. I stared out at the skyline. In a few days, all of that would be gone. 3 days until the end of the world. I threw every last dollar at 3 things: power, weapons, and the Iron Legion. Let's start with power. 4 main diesel engines, mothballed for 11 years, badly corroded. I dropped 36 million yuan to bring in the country's top marine propulsion team. 50 engineers, 2 shifts, non-stop. Tear down, clean, replace, realign the props. 2 full days. Third night, all 4 engines fired back up. That sound, low at first, then building into a roar, came rolling up from the engine room. I stood at the hatch and felt the vibration crawl up through my feet. Goosebumps head to toe. This ship is alive, topped off with 40,000 tons of diesel. At cruising speed, she can run for 14 days straight without touching port. Now, weapons. The original 76mm fully automatic naval gun. Restored. Rate of fire, 85 rounds per minute. Effective range, 17 kilometers. 1 minute is all it takes to clear every target within a 2-kilometer radius. Through an old contact who spent years in military logistics, I secured a procurement deal, 30 million yuan for decommissioned stockpile munitions, 480 heavy rockets, 320 armor-piercing rounds, 160 incendiary shells, all loaded through a special military port channel. No questions asked. Topside, I added 24 heavy machine gun stations, 360 degrees, 0 blind spots. Anything that gets within 50 meters of this ship gets shredded. And then there's the Iron Legion. 240 million yuan for 300 custom sea and land combat robots, waterproof, corrosion-resistant alloy shells, high-torque electric drive, hydraulic armor-piercing claws, thermal imaging, accurate to 200 meters, rain, night, any conditions. 300 units, 3 squads, 100 on deck patrol, 120 for interior security, 80 in the water. Full 400-meter coverage around the entire hull. Anything trying to climb up from below gets dealt with before it ever touches the ship. 48 hours to 0. I put out a citywide recruitment post. Closed-circuit deep-sea research expedition. Base pay, 500K a month. Full supplies covered, medical, engineering, agriculture, culinary backgrounds, priority. The post photo? A warship cutting through open blue water. 4 hours later, 3,000 applications. I screened them myself, all day. Final cut, 120 people. 3 surgeons, 8 engineers, 4 agricultural specialists, 2 fishery experts, 3 5-star chefs. Plus a whole crew of people who passed physical and psychological screening. In the apocalypse, a doctor is worth more than gold. An engineer outranks a general, and a chef. I refuse to eat bad food at the end of the world. 70 of the 120 were women. Several were models and influencers. They thought they were signing up for some exciting, high-paying adventure. Then they walked up the gangway and saw radars spinning above their heads. Robots on patrol. Gun barrels aimed at the sky. A full-on warship. Everyone froze. The lead girl, no makeup, just staring, looked up at the bridge for 3 seconds. Is this a cruise ship? 1,000 times safer than one. That afternoon, full defensive system stress test. Detonated a test charge 60 meters off the hull. Slight tremor inside. Hull, intact. High voltage deck grid activated. Threw a steel pipe on it, and it shot a 3-meter blue-white arc into the air. All 300 robots ran a full live combat drill. The sound of 300 units marching across the deck was like thunder. The 120 new crew members just stood there and watched, dead silent. I feel like I just boarded a superhuman warship. That evening, the main deck was set up with a 40-meter banquet table. Candlelight, red wine, grilled meat, jazz. All 120, dressed up, seated. Stars blanketing the sky above. Floodlights turning the sea bright as noon. Robots patrolling quietly on the perimeter. The gun turrets standing in silence. Blackie sat beside my chair with a plate of grilled steak in front of him, eating like it was the most serious thing in the world. I stood at the rail, wine glass in hand, looking down at this lit-up fortress on the water. One thought. Last life I suffered for 10 years and never got one decent meal. This life, I'm making up for it first. Over the past week, I'd gutted and upgraded every inch of the ship, and stockpiled enough food and supplies to last several lifetimes. 5 a.m. that day, the eastern skyline flickered. Then a low, muffled boom rolled in. The top floors of the Biotech Research Center started venting white smoke. Windows, one by one, getting smashed from the inside. 7 a.m. emergency broadcast from the harbor. Unidentified biochemical infection spreading rapidly. All civilians shelter in place immediately. Every channel went to static. Signal, gone. I set down my binoculars and hit the ship-wide intercom. All hands, battle stations. Combat mode. All 300 robots activated. I gave the order. Cast off, fire up the engines, get us out of port. All 4 diesel engines ignited. A deep roar surged up from the engine room as 155 meters of steel began to pull away from the dock. The pier was already swarming with infected. They crowded the end of the gangway, clawing and screaming at the ship as it moved further away, but not one of them could step onto the water. The outside world was finished. The land was done. We weren't. The destroyer pushed into open water. The city skyline disappeared into the smoke. Robots cycled through their first watch rotation. Blackie was up on the bow, facing into the wind, calmer than anyone on board. Then the radar room alarm went off. The duty robot's screen lit up red. Sonar anomaly. Large number of moving targets detected 0.5 meters below the surface, closing on our coordinates. Confirmed count. Over 800 and rising. Movement signature. Humanoid. My palms went cold with sweat. Zombies can swim. That thought hit me like a sledgehammer. I was just about to give the order when a raspy voice crackled through the comms. Vessel ahead. This is the Yuncheng Emergency Defense Command. You are operating state military property. Stand down immediately and await transfer of control. I repeat, stand down immediately. Upper right of the radar screen, a blip, hauling out of the harbor at high speed. Armed heavy patrol boat, 40 knots. Flags on the mast, bow pointed straight at us.